Hi, and welcome back to Cooking with Corlan. Oh my goodness, didn't that cook up nice? Woohoo-wee! Hi, I'm so happy to be back with you today. We're making buttermilk shortcake biscuits with fresh fruit and real whipped cream. So come on now, let's go. Let's get going on our biscuit. If you haven't already washed and hulled your strawberries, don't worry about it. I already did it because I think this needs to set out at room temperature for a while. And we'll get to that in a little bit. But right now, let's focus here. 2 cups of our all-purpose flour. And I went ahead and measured out my other dry ingredients, right? Tablespoon of baking powder, teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of sugar. Now, you might say, ooh, sugar. Well, yeah, that's what makes it shortcake instead of just a regular old biscuit. And it makes it special, at least for me. Once I get all my dry ingredients in here, I really like to take the time, go ahead and whisk it up. Some recipes would say, hey, sift that all together, but done. And I don't have to wash the sifter, right? Okay, now, key, cold butter, right? So I often keep mine in the freezer, and I'm going to show you how I do it. I've already measured 6 tablespoons, and this is pretty well frozen. At least it's very cold. I use my cheese grater, and then that helps me. It looks like this. I want you to see me do it so that you trust me completely, right? Nice and easy. Now, if you've got a food processor, go ahead, dump it all in and do your thing, but I like to do it by hand. So I just use a cheese grater, grate up my butter. Oh, it's nice, and you get so much more butter flavor in every bite when you do it this way. At least I think so. It's how I do my my pie crusts as well. I always use frozen butter that I grate in. I'm sure all of you have all kinds of tricks that you like to use in the kitchen. This is one of mine, and I guess it's not so tricky. It's just kind of common sense, right? Little butter curls. Watch your hands. Don't cut yourself, please. And if you have kids in the kitchen that want to help, this is a great opportunity. You just need to finish up the last few pieces, okay? Or start with the full cube and let them grate it down until you just have 2 tablespoons left. That means you have 6 in the pan, right? All right. Here we go. Now, this is one of my favorite parts. Best tools in the trade right here, right? And this is how I mix my biscuits. You know how your mom always tells you don't play in your food? She was teasing. Go ahead. Just play in your food. This is serious business. This is kitchen surgery. Use your hands. All right. Well, I want you to see this because see how nicely that's incorporated? All right. I usually make a little bit of a well, you know, kind of spread it out. Take my buttermilk. Now listen, if you don't have buttermilk and you go, oh, I want a biscuit, right? Put a cup of regular milk in there and add a tablespoon of either white vinegar or lemon, whatever, just some acid, you know, and then it'll curdle, let it sit for a little bit, it'll curdle up a little bit, and bam, buttermilk. See? All right. But I grew up in a house that always had buttermilk. My mother and father drank buttermilk. I never could quite do it. But, you know, my mom was from the South. It's what you do. It's what you do. All right, so I'm going to use my spatula first here just because I'm trying to be neat and tidy. But I'm going to get my hands really dirty here in a few minutes. Well, deliciously dirty. That's what I mean. All right, we just want to make this wet. You know, one of the things about biscuits, too, you don't want to completely overwork your biscuit dough. You want it to be tender and soft and lovely. So what I do, I just go ahead and I just kind of flour my board or countertop or whatever you're using. Dining room table, doesn't matter. Dump out my dough. And you see it's not all together. That's what we're going to work on right now. We're just going to work this all together. Again, another really fun part right here to do with your kids. You know, you can't. I know that you can put expertise into cooking anything. And yeah, maybe it'll taste a little better if you follow every rule. But nothing is more precious than getting to make food with your family, with your kids. And again, I know I've told you this before. I like making food with your kids, too, in this kitchen. It's one of the reasons I love this job so much is because you let me do that. So I'm just going to keep working this till it's all together and I don't feel real wet spots in there. Some recipes will say, hey, you need to use a rolling pin and fold it and push it and all that. So what I do, like I told you, I just play with it till it feels like it's all together. And they're going to be crumbly. That's just the way we like them. I'm so excited to share this recipe with you. And I know it's simple. Yeah, sometimes simple is the best. Now, I like to spread mine out to just about an inch. I don't know, is that 3/4 of an inch? Something like that. And then we have all these options. Options for cutting our biscuits. I want to be able to see. Hopefully you can. So, for this recipe, I'm going to just use this, I think it's about a 2-inch circular cutter. But I've got squares and fluted and big ones and small ones. It all depends on what you want to do, especially like if you're doing this for a special occasion, maybe do a large one and make it a really big deal. Shortcake is always a big deal, just saying. Anyway, if you don't have a cutter, you can grab a cup or a glass, anything with an edge like that. Okay, so don't stop yourself if you don't have something, just adapt, keep going, it's worth it. You can even just cut them in squares with a knife. But for today, let's use a cutter. So, one thing that is really important when you use a cutter, don't twist it. You want that to stay clean. If you twist it, it'll stop it from rising. I learned that the hard way. It's all right. They still taste good. Then I put my biscuits close together. They help each other grow up. I'm getting very excited. You know, if children are watching, you might have them turn away for a second. I like this for breakfast. If you're having trouble getting your kid to eat breakfast, put some fruit on a biscuit. Breakfast will become their favorite meal. It has become mine. Sure, you could have an egg on the side. But let's face it, biscuits and fruit. It's magic. Oh. These remind me of my grandma, Bergen, so much, my southern grandma. Because she, I'm sure I've told you many times before, but she made biscuits for every meal. She made buttermilk biscuits, not shortcake biscuits, So basically this recipe without the sugar. And man, they were good. Oh, I used to love to visit my southern grandma. My grandpa was so proud of what an amazing cook my grandma was that he would present the biscuits every meal. He would butter everybody's for them. It was a lot of fun. All right, so you see that I've got all this left. So I just tried to get it pulled back together, squish it out. You notice I never even used a rolling pin, but if that works for you, use a rolling pin. Please remember to play in your kitchen. Kitchen's yours. Food, this can be fun or it can be torturous. Just make it fun. How are we looking? I think we're looking pretty good. Now, if you weren't watching, I would nibble on this raw, but you're watching. I'm not gonna hold myself back. All right, I think I can get a couple more out of here. Hate for it to go to waste. But again, the more you touch it, the more you move it, they can get a little bit tough then. All right, look at that. So this recipe, 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. If I had gotten shorter, we could have gotten a dozen. If I'd used a bigger one, we would have gotten 6 to 8. So see, you just play it by ear. Do what works for you. All right, now the last thing we're gonna do, I'm gonna take a little bit of this buttermilk that I have left over there. Shake it up. I need to grab a spoon. Or if you have a brush, a kitchen brush, you can brush this on. We're just going to put a little bit of buttermilk on top. Why? Because we like it. Then we're going to use turbinado sugar, just raw sugar. And if you don't have it, please don't worry about it. You could throw a little sugar on top of it if you want. You could do honey on top if you wanted. This is a method I like. And not that I have the answers when it comes to biscuits, but I can assure you I have a lot of experience because I love them. All right, turbinado sugar. Just gonna put a little bit in my hand, sprinkle on my biscuits. Oh, getting very excited. All right, in a regular oven, 450 degrees. Okay, 450. I know it seems really hot. It is. You're only going to need them in there about 10 to 12 minutes. Keep an eye on them. You just want them to be golden brown and delicious. All right. I will see you back here as soon as we've baked our biscuits, and I'll show you how I put the rest together. All right. Hey, welcome back. So, our biscuits are done, and they look beautiful, golden brown, and a little bit of caramelized sugar on top. I'm very excited about it. I'm going to put them aside, let them cool. We're going to mess with the berries a little bit, and we're going to make some whipped cream. Okay. Those cool down right there. All right, berries. In here I have 4 cups of strawberries that I've hulled and sliced, and I like to make heart shapes. Let me show you how. I don't have a knife here, but I just cut a V right there and slice them. You'll see they're heart shapes then. So now I'm just going to mix them up. I'm just going to get a little bigger bowl. I've got 4 cups of strawberries, 2 cups of blueberries, 2 cups of blackberries, and 2 cups of raspberries. And I want you to know that that's so beautiful. Holy cow. Wow. Oh. The splendor of God's gifts right here. Holy cow. Yep. All right. Now, this, see, there's a heart-shaped strawberry. You know, food always needs to have love in it. Sometimes more obvious than others. Right now, I can hear my mother over my shoulder going, Corlan, you need to macerate those strawberries, all that fruit, macerate. To layer a little bit of sugar on there. I have to tell you, I do love macerated berries. I have been trying to not eat as much sugar and still have the wonderful flavors of that fresh fruit. So today, I'm not going to do that. If you want to, you just take a couple tablespoons of sugar right now, ladle it over your fruit, mix it up, and set it aside. Now, ideally, you could do that if you wanted to serve this, let's say for Mother's Day or Easter or whatever your tradition is, sometime or just for summer, Tuesday. Okay. Go ahead and do that. You can do that the night before. Throw them in the fridge. They'll be all nice and wet and have a syrup to them. And it's lovely over shortcake for breakfast. I'm going to set these aside. And we're going to get going on some whipped cream. Honestly, all elements are my favorites. So it's one big favorite at the end. One of the things I do recommend when you're making real whipped cream, which is just a heavy whipping cream, always make sure it's really cold. And I always put my bowl in the freezer before I do this. It's going to help it come together much quicker. All right, now the recipe that I use, or my kind of rule of thumb for every cup of heavy cream, I use a tablespoon to 2 of sugar and teaspoon to 2 of vanilla. Kind of a personal preference and kind of my mood too for the day. If I don't add sugar to my berries, sometimes I sweeten the cream a little more. So, you just play with it. I gotta find the right measuring device. Here we go. So, sugar. I'm sorry. Heavy cream. I got sugar on my mind. Kind of always have. That's why I'm so sweet. Unless you talk to my husband. He's wondering where the sour grapes came in. All right. So I'm going to do 1 cup of cream. It's just because everybody's watching. I do 2 cups at home. But, we can't be here all day. Well, we could, but not gonna. All right, the sugar. Need a measuring device. Bear with me. I'm not finding my tablespoon, so we're gonna use a teaspoon. Okay, how many teaspoons in a tablespoon? That's right, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what? 5 teaspoons, 1 for good measure. And now we're gonna do our vanilla. So we're just gonna do a teaspoon plus a dribble, because more's better. Here it is. There's my measuring device. I got too organized. It's just not like me. Okay, now this is going to be noisy, and I'm going to use this hand beater because I want you to see how quickly this comes together. At home, I would use my my big mixer, but this is a job for kids. This is a fun job for kids. To watch it come together is so fun. 2 schools of thought on whipping. 1, make it creamier and not whip it to peak. And then you ladle it like sauce across your biscuit pan and berries. That's coming together. I love this part. I love whipped cream, real whipped cream. I can't do it from a can, and I never eat the fake stuff. Magic. So if you kept going and you didn't add anything to it, you'd have butter at the end, right? I think I'm going to try just a little more here. I like it somewhere between the soft stage and the stiff peak stage. Don't forget to let your kids try it first to make sure it's okay. Because that's the fun of helping in the kitchen. Okay, now give me just a minute. I'm going to pull it all together for you. So meet me back here and I'll show you how I like to serve it. Right. Well, right? A picture's worth 1,000 words. Yum, 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 right? Okay, so something that I like to do, and you don't have to, something I like to do, I always like to present food in such a way that everybody can get excited about it. So even at home, even if it's just Rob and I like to put it in nice dishes and present it in such a way that even I can get more excited about it. So we put it in bowls like this so that your guests can help themselves, or you can make them up however you want. Let me show you how I like to serve it when I'm doing it for everyone. I like to break my biscuit. I don't even worry about cutting them. I just break it because look how perfect that is. Oh my gosh. Separate it. Now we add our berries. And again, your macerated berries are going to have a lot of liquid if you choose to sugar them, right? So that's great, and it fills your biscuit with a little more moisture. So I like to do just a little bit of cream, just a little, down in here. Now I'm going to add a few more berries. Why? Because I can, and I love it. Look, are you seeing how gorgeous this is? All right, now a little more cream, or a lot, and then I put my biscuit right back on top, just like that. If you want to, you can add a whole berry with the stem on it. If you think that that's pretty, I think this is gorgeous. We have our heart-shaped berry. Why? Because that's love. Whipped cream, well, that's love too. And then our buttermilk biscuit shortcake. Now all you need is a beautiful strawberry napkin. Use your best strawberry napkins. And share it with a friend or with your family. I'm so happy that I got to share this with you. When I stop filming and I eat all of this, I'll be thinking about you. I promise. I will. Till next time. I love you.